U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Dan Kane on Sunday delivered a press briefing providing details of the airstrikes and bombing raids on Iranian nuclear facilities. U.S. President Donald Trump said U.S. airstrikes on Sunday totally obliterated Iran's main nuclear sites, as Washington joined Israel's war with Tehran in a flashpoint moment for the Middle East. The U.S. operation, called Midnight Hammer, was described by Jen Kane as the largest B-2 operational strike in U.S. history, which inflicted extremely severe damage and destruction to the targets, U.S. outlet CBS News reported. This was a highly classified mission, with very few people in Washington knowing the timing or nature of this plan, Jen Kane said, adding that 7 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers flew east from their base in Missouri to participate in the mission in Iran. At midnight, Friday into Saturday, a large B-2 strike package, comprised of bombers, launched from the continental United States. As part of a plan to maintain tactical surprise, part of the package proceeded to the west and into the Pacific as a decoy, he stated. Throughout its 18-hour flight, the aircraft completed multiple in-flight refuelings. Once over land, the B-2s linked up with escort and support aircraft once over land in the Middle East in a complex, tightly timed maneuver requiring exact synchronization across multiple platforms in a narrow piece of airspace. Kane explained, adding that this was done with minimal communication. Speaking while displaying a map tracing the flight path and timelines of the U.S. bombers, the chairman said, "At about 5 p.m. Eastern Time, ET, on Saturday, just before the aircraft entered Iranian airspace, a U.S. submarine in the Central Command, CENTCOM area of responsibility, launched more than 24 Tomahawk cruise missiles against key surface infrastructure targets at Isfahan. As the Operation Midnight Hammer strike package entered Iranian airspace, the U.S. deployed several deception tactics, including decoys, as 4th and 5th generation aircraft pushed out in front of the strike package at high altitude and high speed, sweeping for enemy fighters and surface-to-air missile threats. Jen Kane outlined that U.S. Strategic Command, Transportation Command, Cyber Command, Space Command, and the Space Force and U.S. European Command all provided support during the strikes. "We are currently unaware of any shots fired at the U.S. strike package on the way in," he said. Outlining the bombing raid, Jen Kane said that at about 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:10 a.m. in Iran, the lead B-2 dropped 2 GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator (MOP) weapons on the first of several aim points at Fordo. As the president stated last night, the remaining bombers then hit their targets as well, with a total of 14 MOPs dropped against 2 nuclear target areas. All 3 Iranian nuclear infrastructure targets were struck between 6:40 p.m. and 7:05 p.m. ET, with the Tomahawk missiles being the last to strike at Isfahan to ensure that we retained the element of surprise throughout the operation. Following weapons release, the Midnight Hammer strike package exited Iranian airspace and began its return home. "We are unaware of any shots fired at the package on the way out," he added. "Iran's fighters did not fly, and it appears Iran's surface-to-air missile systems did not see us." According to Jen Kane, the U.S. employed 75 precision-guided weapons during Operation Midnight Hammer, including the MOPs, marking their first operational use by the U.S. military. More than 125 U.S. aircraft participated in this mission, including B-2 stealth bombers, multiple flights of 4th and 5th generation fighters, dozens and dozens of air refueling tankers, and a full array of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance aircraft, as well as hundreds of maintenance and operational professionals, Jen Kane said. The chairman warned that the U.S. is prepared for any retaliatory attack by Iran, stating that any such attack would be an incredibly poor choice. "We will defend ourselves. The safety of our service members and civilians is the highest priority. Many assets are still airborne, and we have hundreds deployed."